"Why is it so slow?" Jack grumbled, staring at a little caterpillar crossing their path. Joe wagged his tail. "Let's help it." Every day they came back to check. The caterpillar was still crawling, bit by bit. Jack yawned. "Maybe it's going nowhere," Joe whispered. "Let's be patient." One morning, the caterpillar was gone. A butterfly danced in the sky, shimmering like the sun. Jack's eyes widened. "It changed." Joe smiled. "Even slow things can become something amazing." Joe chased a shiny red balloon through the meadow, but no matter how hard he pounced, it wouldn't pop. Jack tapped it with one curious paw. "It's soft but strong, like a bubble with a secret," he said. They tugged it, squished it, even sat on it. The balloon just giggled and floated higher. Then the balloon whispered, "I carry wishes too gentle to break." Jack and Joe blinked, wide-eyed and still, so they each gave it a quiet wish and watched it drift into the sky, safe and whole. Deep in the woods, Jack spotted something strange glinting between the trees. "What is that?" Joe whispered, ears perked. They stepped closer and saw a mirror unlike any other. "It doesn't show us," Jack said. "It shows something else. It shows what we love most," Joe whispered, eyes wide. Jack's tail curled around Joe as he gazed in, too. "We're in each other's hearts," said Jack softly. Joe nodded. Forever and always, they left the mirror in the woods, but its magic stayed with them. In every cuddle, chase, and quiet moment shared, rain poured down, and Jack the cat hid under a tree, shivering. "I don't like the rain," he whispered. Joe the puppy splashed in the mud, giggling, "Come play, Jack." But Jack stayed curled up, afraid. Joe had an idea. He ran to the birds, squirrels, and even a frog. "Help me get Jack out to play." Suddenly, splash! A frog jumped. A bird flapped. Jack jumped in surprise right into the grass. Rain fell on his fur. He froze. Then Jack laughed. "It tickles," he purred. Joe wagged. "See? Rain can be fun." One morning, Jack and Joe found the forest giant waiting. "Want to see the forest like I do?" he asked. They climbed onto his shoulders, the trees tiny below. "Hold on tight," said the giant with a smile. He walked over rivers and bright meadows. "The forest remembers everything," he said. They saw deer drinking and bees dancing. "It's so big," whispered Joe. Jack just purred. At sunset, he sat under a glowing tree. "Now you've seen it like a guardian." "Tonight's the Moonberry Festival," Joe barked. "We need pie." Jack stretched and purred. "Only if we find the perfect berries." They searched the moonlit field, giggling under stars until, "Jack, look! Moonberries!" Back home, They stirred and sprinkled with care, laughing, tasting, and making a sweet, messy memory. As the pie baked, the whole room glowed softly, like the moon had joined their feast. They shared their moonberry pie under the stars, and agreed it tasted just like friendship. "Jack, did you hear that sound under the treehouse?" whispered Joe. "Let's check it out together," said Jack, holding up an old lantern. They tiptoed down, paws shaking, hearts thumping loud like drums. But it was just a baby owl, lost and shivering in the leaves. "See," said Jack, "it's not so scary when we shine a little light." "She's lost, Jack," whispered Joe. "We have to help her." Jack nodded. "Let's follow the stars. Owls always nest near the moon." Through whispering trees and rustling leaves, they carried the tiny owl gently. A soft hoot echoed, then another. A mama owl swooped down with shining eyes. The baby owl fluttered up, and Jack whispered, "Home always finds you." "Jack, why is this attic so dusty?" Joe asked, his nose wrinkling. They had followed a trail of forgotten giggles and creaky stairs. Behind old trunks and cobwebs, they found a box labeled "Toys for Tomorrow." Inside were worn-out teddies, wooden blocks, and one-eyed dolls. "These toys, they're waiting to be loved again," Jack whispered. He gently placed a floppy bunny into Joe's arms. With laughter and care, they set up a tiny tea party for the toys. The attic sparkled as if it remembered every joyful moment. When they left, the box now read, "Loved again." Jack smiled. Sometimes all forgotten things need is a friend. One morning, Jack and Joe heard a tiny song floating through the air, but no one was singing it. They followed the tune through fields of flowers and over babbling brooks. Hidden beneath a mushroom, they found a tiny violin crying soft, lonely notes. Jack gently purred a melody, and Joe hummed along, weaving the tune back together. The little violin danced with joy, and Jack and Joe had a new song to carry in their hearts forever. One sleepy afternoon, Jack and Joe found a tiny, sad cloud hiding behind the hill. "I'm too heavy to float," the little cloud sighed. Jack gently tapped his paw and said, "Maybe you just need a little help." Together they built a nest of wind from butterfly wings and dandelion fluff. Slowly, gently, the little cloud rose into the sky, lighter, braver, and full of smiles. And every afternoon after that, the cloud floated by to say thank you, with a little sunbeam just for them. One morning, Jack and Joe found the biggest blueberry they had ever seen, as big as Joe's head. They both gasped, eyes wide with wonder. "I found it first," said Jack, curling his tail. "But I really love blueberries," whispered Joe, looking down. They sat quietly until Jack took a deep breath. "Let's share it," he said, "even if it's scary to give up a bite." Joe smiled, wagging his tail. "I'll go first. Together is better," he said, and took the tiniest nibble. They split the blueberry, giggling as juice dribbled down their chins. And in that moment they felt braver and closer than ever. Joe's tail wagged as he raced outside, but something was missing around his neck. "My collar's gone," Joe cried. "It was the first gift you ever gave me." They searched the tree house, the pond, the flower bed, but the collar was nowhere. Joe sniffled. "Now I'll forget how much you love me." Jack shook his head and smiled. "Silly pup," Jack purred. "That love isn't in the collar. It's in me, and I'm right here." Follow us for more soothing stories with Jack and the Forever Puppy Joe.